The Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina is the host site for the ACC Women's Soccer Championships, and we're down to one more game to determine who's going to play for that title on Sunday. North Carolina and Florida State, two traditional powerhouses, about to meet for the right to face Virginia, who earlier this evening beat Clemson 5-0. And once again, good evening, everyone. Sam Gore, along with former Tar Heel national champion and Olympic gold medalist Kat Whitehill. And Kat, these two teams are very familiar with this spot, and what a close matchup they should produce.
Well, Florida State's the defending national champion, and North Carolina has won 21 NCAA championships. And the ACC is the toughest conference to play in. At least 8 teams will go through, and you can just see that day in and day out, every single game you play in the ACC is tough, and for these two teams to make it into the top 4 is just a testament to how well they've done this season.
Well, let's talk about the Tar Heels first. Alexa Newfield, leading goal scorer for the Tar Heels. Of course, she'll have to have a good game.
Well, absolutely. She's a leading goal scorer, like you said, and she's so good at 1v1 out on the flank. She finds her shot and just knows where the goalkeeper is and keeps that ball away from her. She has just been critical this year for North Carolina.
And for Florida State, a couple of players I know you want to feature.
Yeah, both at opposite sides of the field, actually. You have Shayna Williams up top for Florida State. She's so fast. She can stretch teams, and she's a one-target forward, but she's still able to score a lot of goals for the Seminoles. And in the back, goalkeeper Cassie Miller has been the reason why this defense has been so consistent. She's a vocal leader. She's excellent in the air, but she also comes up with big-time saves when it's needed.
Well, looking forward to this one, number 2 versus number 3. The Tar Heels and Seminoles for the right to move on to the championship on Sunday. Well, the Tar Heels and the Florida State Seminoles at midfield getting ready for this second semifinal. The winner will move on to face University of Virginia on Sunday. Look at the legendary Anson Dorrance, his staff over there. Tar Heels going for another national championship, but this season it's been a tough year, Kat, sustaining 3 straight losses for only the second time in Tar Heel history.
Yeah, and a lot of that had to do with a couple of injuries for them. They lost a couple of midfielders, but they really rebounded well, for North Carolina, and they beat Clemson, beat Notre Dame, coming off a lot of strong wins for them to get into the ACC tournament. It was a close call for a while when they went on that 3-game losing streak as to whether or not they'd get in this tournament.
Look at Mark Krikorian, the head coach for Florida State, in his 11th season as the head man of the Seminoles.
Well, the ACC is one of the best conferences because they have some of the best coaches, and we're looking at 2 of the best in the world. We saw one of the best in the world in the earlier, and the other coaches just keep rising because it's one of those conferences that not only develops players, but it also develops coaches. And Anson Dorrance is a legend, but Mark Krikorian, he's starting to create a dynasty of his own down in Florida State.
Well, these are 2 head coaches that their coaching staffs could be head coaches at a number of schools as well. And the coaching tree just flows, especially from North Carolina. There's Tar Heels all over the place this weekend. Some of the fans here supporting North Carolina. Easy drive over from Chapel Hill here in Cary.
Well, a lot of world champions are in the house from North Carolina. They're being honored at the UNC Duke football game tomorrow. So you have Megan Klingenberg, Tobin Heath, Ashlyn Harris, Heather O'Reilly, just to name a few, Lori Kolupny, Whitney Ingen. You had 6 Tar Heels on the World Cup roster.
There's a look at Cassie Miller. You talked about her in our open. Cave Creek, Arizona. I just wanted to say that. I love that. Cave Creek. I want to be from Cave Creek. The Seminoles come in as the favorite on paper, and they did beat North Carolina earlier this year.
Well, here's the difference. North Carolina is going to start in a 4-2-3-1 today. Normally, North Carolina starts in a 3-4-3. When I talked to Coach Anson Dorrance about how he's going to start, he wanted to go into the 4-2-3-1 early because he felt like in that 3-4-3 that Florida State completely obliterated them, and so he's going for a more defensive effort, but he still wants to get his outside backs forward as much as possible. And Julia Ashley, the freshman, number 16 on the right outside back, is going to be key. She is so fit. He is going to demand up and down, box to box for 90 minutes.
Now here's a look at the head-to-head. Florida State has beaten North Carolina more than any other team in the country, which is saying something when you look at North Carolina with its 22 national championships. How would you describe the North Carolina program this year, Kat? Is it a rebuilding year, or was it just a fluke that they lost those 3 games in a row?
No, it was a fluke. I think that the injuries really hurt them, and they were on the road a lot. But they really regrouped well, and they're showing their resiliency by winning some key games down the stretch.
Throw in for Florida State. This is Campbell. It was right at the goal.
And look, this throw-in is so dangerous. If you're North Carolina, you would almost rather kick it out for a corner kick than kick it out for a throw-in. That's how dangerous this throw-in is. Megan Campbell is just gotten it down pat where she should put it, and she puts it on a rope, and it's so difficult to defend, especially with a tall forward like Williams in there trying to flick it on.
Campbell's 5'8" from Ireland, just rifled that ball toward the goal. Corvisto with the throw in.
It's funny, when I did a USA Ireland game earlier this year, their main attack, Ireland was her throw-ins, and the U.S. was having such a struggle with it. That just shows you how dangerous they are.
Offsides on Florida State. There's a look at Campbell. Offside. What makes that such a dangerous throw-in, and why don't more people do it?
Well, nobody has that range. It's the range. I mean, where she can be on the field and still hit it into a critical area in the 18-yard box is unbelievable. And because you can throw it, you can direct it more than when you kick it. And they just put a target forward like Shayna Williams in there, and they just make it so difficult you have to front and back Williams, so then you lose some players in the box to mark up, and a lot of Florida State Seminoles are running in there at the last second trying to get a foot on it.
Miller asking for some help. Foul on Florida State.
Offside Florida State.
Excuse me, offside. It's Ashley.
Julie Ashley.
Castleberry couldn't maintain possession.
And that's who North Carolina needs to find a lot of today, is Casey Scarpa, or Jessie Scarpa, up front. Sorry, Cassie is her sister who was at Vanderbilt. I just did a game of hers, but Scarpa, they had a defender last year because she was recovering from an ACL, and they just wanted to progress her into the game. Well, now they needed more attack. They just didn't have enough last year. They put her as that target forward, and Anson just was like, you just need to double team her because she's so strong and she knows how to anticipate where the defenders are going to be because she played defense. And she has just been huge for North Carolina this year.
Scarpa, number 12 for the Tar Heels, just got a touch. There she is.
He says he beats up the center backs by the end of the game.
She's the leading scorer between goals and assists. Of course, Newfield, the leading goal scorer for the Tar Heels with 9 goals. Nielsen looking upfield. Boyles.
Well, this is an interesting matchup from both teams because North Carolina, even though they are in the 4-2-3-1, they still like to high pressure the back line of Florida State. And Florida State, they love to build out of the back and set play from their back line, get play balls into the midfield, find their outside backs, get them forward. So it's going to be interesting to see who adjusts better. Can North Carolina keep the high pressure and keep Florida State from finding their midfielders and getting the outside backs forward? Or will North Carolina's pressure really affect the back line of Florida State, and then North Carolina can pick the ball up in more dangerous situations and start the attack at a higher portion of the field?
Tar Heels have won 2 in a row since losing those 3. Wins over Notre Dame and Clemson, 2 nationally ranked teams coming into the ACC tournament. Beat Miami to start the tournament.
Defense there from North Carolina. Connolly, who's the midfielder of the year and freshman of the year, was just running at that back line. But North Carolina closed her down very well. You look at Connolly, she's just running, has plenty of time and space, and Paige Nelson gets herself in between the ball and Connolly.
There's Scarpa. Scarpa looking for the shot, misses.
Wow, Scarpa did all that hard work to get herself in a wide open position on shooting on Miller and just completely sails it wide.
Missed opportunity here for Scarpa.
Nice little touch around, could have even been called for the foul, but the referee played on. And you can see how terribly that was missed when it was just her against Miller in the goal. She had a nice angle had she just slipped it near post rather than try and bend it far post.
Scarpa, sophomore from Lakeland, Florida. Couldn't find the back of the net, instead found the back of the bleachers.
Foul, Carolina.
Florida State looking for an opportunity to score here. Eberlin makes the grab.
Florida State shot by number 3, Megan Connolly.
Connolly took the shot.
Well, not smart pressure from Florida State there. They saw that North Carolina tried to get it out quickly. Well, they already had enough numbers for it to press, and they did a nice job of everyone being on the same page, pressing the back line of North Carolina and just winning it right back.
Here's Hahn. And a foul on North Carolina again. Fouls on Boyles.
And Boyles just tries to get the ball while completely knocking down Connolly. Good call. Tries to go through the legs. It's difficult to win the ball that way.
So Connolly set to take the kick. A lot of speed by the Tar Heels.
That's a good transition moment there from North Carolina. You see Alexa Newfield grabs it, plays it quickly out to Katie Bowen, the center back, who she's also played defensive midfield for North Carolina, but just went out of bounds. And Bowen, she's a special player for North Carolina as well. From New Zealand, played in the World Cup for New Zealand. She's played just about everywhere for North Carolina in her career, and she's just one of those leaders that is special for this team and willing to play wherever they need her. And one of her best qualities is actually running at players. And even though she's in a center back position, don't be surprised if you see her making runs out of the backs while dribbling through two to three different defenders.
It's a 5'7" senior. Tar Heels trying to turn it around here.
That was
Offside.
close. I was watching it.
Offside, Carolina.
Official didn't waste any time making that call.
A half second earlier with that ball and she would have been onside. That's a dangerous trap there, considering that Boyles was running with lots of space in front of her, had time to look up.
Good look at Heberlin. Getting ready to send this ball. Slipped as she kicked the ball. It feels a little slippery. We had some rain here tonight. It's humid. It's a real dewy field. Scarpa had the good look earlier.
Takes a quick throw, passes Perry's direction. Pass there, unable to get there.
Hahn in midfield.
The movement by Florida State in the attack is just so fluid. They interchange so well. We have so many different players that can play on different spots all over the field. Schmid on the ball right there. She's played outside back. Now she's playing in the midfield. Connolly is up front joining Shayna Williams. It's just, it's pretty to watch how well they move and read each other.
Hahn bringing it back. Pickett. Still no score. We played about 15 minutes here in the opening half. We went through the entire first half in the first semifinal with no score, and then Virginia erupted with 5 second-half goals.
And it was an even match in the first half, just kind of like how this one has been so far.
Tar Heels had a good look earlier. Scarpa missed an open shot, trying to make up for it. And that one goes wide and over as well, as it was sent by number 6 Green.
Well, it's a nice combination play though between Scarpa and Green does the right decision to cut in, just misses over the bar. But Summer Green has been much more confident this year from North Carolina, really found her stride. She struggled for a couple of years in there, she played for the U17 national team, came back and she lost a bit of confidence, and now this year she's just really playing well for North Carolina.
Summer Green is from Michigan. Well, she is a senior. Anything surprising you so far here, Kat?
No, I mean, Florida State's had most of the possession. Their attack has been good. They haven't really created a whole lot of opportunities, but they're seeing the game well, and North Carolina right now is really depending on those transitional moments. And when they do get in good spots in the attacking third, they're getting good looks on frame. So it's been a bit of an even match in that aspect.
Florida State threatening a little bit here. Oh, nice shot. Good save though by Heberlin. Hahn took the shot. Excuse me, Schmid took that shot.
Yeah, Schmid just has a lot of time and space in front of her. Just didn't get enough on that one to really challenge Heberlin. The key though for Heberlin though is we saw it in the Virginia game that little ball that skips up, it skips quickly and it skips up on you because of how slick this surface is. So it was a good job from her to hold on to the ball and not give up any rebound.
There's a Hahn for Florida State. Senior from Titusville, Florida.
I also just did her sister. She plays for LSU in the SEC tournament, so a lot of SEC sisters along with these ACC players.
That tournament going on same time as this. Orange Beach, Alabama.
It's funny, I actually get annoyed sometimes with the long throw-in because a lot of times it's not that beneficial because it doesn't really do much for the team. It just it slows the game down. This throw-in is worth it. I know I'm harping on it, but I've just never seen a throw-in as good as this one, and that's why Florida State utilizes it as much as possible.
There it goes. This is Campbell. Rifles it and headed out. Heberlin.
It's so interesting to me. I watched this Florida State team play Virginia earlier this year, and they were missing their international players like Megan Campbell, and Emma Cuevista over there, and it is amazing how different this team is with those players. Cuica as well in the midfield, and those players just add an extra element to this team that they just play so well together, and they see each other. You can just tell they have a good chemistry in this 11.
How about the rest of the team chemistry? Does it throw off the team at all to lose them for a while and then bring them back?
You would think so, but Florida State, because of how Mark Krikorian recruits, he's always recruited overseas, and they've had different national team call-ups, so they've dealt with it for years now, and he knows how to deal with it. He's always prepared for it, so it doesn't seem like it affects him at all. Definitely didn't last year as they won the national championship.
Yeah. Eberlin going to chase this down. Pickett lets it go. It'll be a Florida State throw-in. Campbell asking for some help. Just over 25 minutes to play here in the first half. The throw-in was by Worth. Pickett. Good shot, and an even better save.
Florida State shot by number 19, Shayna Williams.
Williams took the shot. Hebler stuck her body in between that and the goal.
Well, I was watching Katie Bowen. She was running after the ball, so she left her defensive spot. She wasn't able to cover for Nielsen there, and Shayna Williams just makes one little cut. She had a lot of goal in front of her, and North Carolina is very fortunate that she hit it right at Heberlin.
So both teams with pretty good looks, though that I don't think it was still as wide open as Scarpa's.
Florida State is just completely owning the possession. When North Carolina gets it, besides a couple of good transition moments, they haven't really kept the ball at all.
And a Florida State goal.
Well, this is Natalia Cuica with a brilliant ball to Shayna Williams. Cuica stayed on side, Bowen kept her on, and just a line drive, and all Williams had to do was head it because she's wide open. She had beaten Maya Worth to the space, and just a brilliant finish from Williams.
Williams' fourth goal this season, and it brings Florida State the first lead of the game, 1-0. Nice pass.
The theme of the last game for Clemson was the lack of marking in the box, and that's exactly what happened in North Carolina there with Maya Worth, just letting Williams run free, and you can't do that. Knowing how good Williams is in the air, she's a tall forward. Williams just makes you pay every time, and you saw it right there for you.
Substitution for North Carolina entering is number 71, Hannah Gardner, replacing number 5.
Gardner coming in, replacing Worth. Williams is a 5'9" play here for. Oh, that gets in.
No goal.
Offside, offside. No goal. A goal taken away from the Tar Heels here.
Take a look at this.
So North Carolina called for offside just when they thought they had tied the score. See if we can find it.
She's absolutely not offside. I don't know what the referee was looking at. If that is the final call on that one, then that is a terrible miss from the referee. She was completely onside, not even close.
Took a goal away from the Tar Heels. Here's Williams again. She scored the Florida State goal a few moments ago. Hahn leaves it out for Pickett.
I mean, I don't think I've seen a referee miss that bad because the defender was standing right there.
I mean, it makes you wonder if that's what he was calling. Or if it was prior to that.
If he saw something else, a foul somewhere. Because it does look like she played the ball a little higher than where where Green scored the goal. So maybe there was a different foul somewhere. Katie Bowen just comes in late. She knows that she did that foul.
Dangerous spot here for North Carolina. Campbell is back. There's Pickett walking up to the ball. Pickett takes it.
Heberlin, she's getting a little too anxious with her distribution. She's got to do better, knowing that there's so many Florida State bodies up there. Just hold on to the ball and let your players get forward.
Newfield sends it forward to Scarpa. A foul called on North Carolina.
And this is the offside there's no foul, there is no offside at all on that whole play. So the assistant referee completely missed it.
And unfortunately, there's no challenge system either, so they can't review it. So that takes a goal away from North Carolina. Florida State remains in front 1-0. Pickett slipping.
And what interesting timing, too, because North Carolina was against the run of play. Florida State was dominating in their attacking area. They finally score. And then North Carolina goes right down the field and gets a good look and scores right back. And that just could have completely evened the game again. And what a big call.
Bad break for the Tar Heels. Campbell.
But I talked to Mark Krikorian about the Virginia game because Florida State was on the bad end of a bad call from a referee, and he said you just got to live. Referees are humans too.
3-on-2. Here's Scarpa again, who missed an open shot earlier, and that time a good move forward by Miller.
It was 3v2 from North Carolina. Newfield with the right pass, but Scarpa, just her touch got too far away from her, and Miller comes off her line quickly. No indecision there from her, no hesitation, and that's why she was able to make the save.
Still Florida State leads it 1-0 here in this first half of play. The winner will meet Virginia in the championship on Sunday. Foul on Florida State. North Carolina's going to get a free kick here. Newfield setting it up, leading goal scorer for the Tar Heels, 9 goals this season. Four substitutions coming in for the Tar Heels
Carolina
now.
Entering will be number 2, Emily Bruger, replacing number 12, Jessie Scarpa.
Brugger's coming in replacing Scarpa.
Megan Buckingham replacing number 21,
So Scarpa's
Cameron
out.
Castleberry. Number 47,
Buckingham's in for Castleberry.
Alex Kimball replacing number 88, Alexa Newfield. And number 54, Sarah
Newfield's
Ashley
coming out as
Funkenberg,
well.
replacing number 6, Summer Green.
So a lot of the North Carolina scoring threats just came out, Kat.
It was like a line change for North Carolina. 4 subs. And it's, with 15 minutes left, no surprise for Manson Dorrance wanting to rest a lot of his players, get them ready for the second half. But it's too bad because the attack was really starting to come together a little bit from North Carolina, but he wants to make sure they're fresh for the second half.
A lot of players slipping tonight. More so in this second semi than the first.
I think the field got a little beaten up in the first game, so a couple more divots.
Another shot, Hebler with a save.
Florida State shot by number 6, Megan Campbell. Correction, number 8, Michaela Hahn.
This is Hahn.
Hahn with a nice shot, and Heberlin just moves her feet so well. She's in a position to make that save look a lot easier than it is. She just catches it, no rebound. Still looking to go forward, though, with that ball. And I saw her yelling at Julia Ashley on the right side to get forward a little bit quicker. She's ready for those transitional moments.
Tar Heels looking for another chance to score here. That's wide right. Buckingham taking a shot.
Well, it's almost like the goal from Florida State woke up North Carolina a bit. They were dropping back so far, just giving Florida State the run and play in the attacking area, and they're attacking half. And now North Carolina is really starting to press a little bit more in their attacking half.
Kingman is going to take this corner kick, sophomore from Woodside, California.
Substitutions for
Florida State sub coming in now.
5, Ying Jensen, replacing number 12, Casey
Jensen
Tillman.
coming in. Tillman going out.
Well, Jensen, she normally starts for Florida State, but she's just dealt with a couple of injuries, and coming in this time off the bench, but she's a strong player. She's athletic. She's also really good at running at players. So her and Tillman are interchangeable. One can start one game, one can start the other. So it's good depth from Florida State.
Jensen's from Iceland. Be a Seminole throw-in. Tar Heels are out of bounds. Florida State, you see, ranked in the top 5 for 41 straight weeks. They have become an absolute fixture at the top of the game. Defending national champions.
We'll keep an eye on Thorvald's daughter from Florida State. They're going to be looking for her. She's stepping right in front of Heberlin, trying to not allow Heberlin to get a look at this throw-in.
Campbell with a good throw. Hahn trying to turn it around.
Starting to see a little more of how the subs affect the game. There's just a little bit of a lack of connection, just because it's hard to get into a game for such a short time and find the rhythm. And it's important to get these subs in because you need fresh legs for the second half. At the same time, that's why the game isn't as fluid. The ball isn't on the ground nearly as much.
You mentioned halftime, Kat. Some members of the U.S. national team going to be honored at halftime. Anson Dorrance, we just saw a snapshot of him. He's coached a lot of them.
He's coached them all, well, coached all the ones that are being highlighted tonight, at least.
What does playing for a school like North Carolina do for you at the next level? Does it give you an instant credibility that other players have to do a little more to earn?
I don't think so necessarily anymore, just because there are so many quality programs around. You can see that just from the fact that North Carolina, it's been a couple years since North Carolina has won a national championship, but the development that Anson Dorrance and Bill Palladino do for you is just, so amazing. They know how to prepare you for the next level, especially because both have coached on the full team level. It's just the experience. It brought me from being a college player to be a full national team player, just because of how they prepare you and the practices every day and keeping yourself at such a competitive level that, losing in anything is unacceptable. Whether it's 1v1s, 4v4, a card game, it's always competitive.
North Carolina going for its 121st ACC tournament game win.
Well, now that the tournament has changed to just semifinals and finals, you don't get as many wins anymore, but North Carolina's made every single ACC tournament, which is amazing. They were on the brink this year of possibly missing out, but a late surge allowed them to get into the top 4 in the ACC.
Tar Heels have won 91% of their ACC tournament games across history. 1-0 Florida State, though, here behind a goal from Williams. Approaching the final 6 minutes of play. Tar Heels with another chance.
Well, Bruder had one position on Campbell, but realized that she wasn't going to outrun her, so she tried to chip Miller, but just missed it.
North Carolina, number 2, Emily Bruder.
Emily Bruder given credit for the shot. She's a junior from Sandy, Utah. Foul on Florida State.
You're right, there has been a lot of slipping all over the field.
It's hard to see it with the naked eye. You don't see the field really glistening, but a lot of players are going down. It's humid tonight. Got a pretty good wind blowing, though. It did rain a little bit earlier.
Might want to think about putting on their different cleats, give them better traction. We saw a ball in the Virginia game that almost cost Clemson when they gave the ball away and slipped, but that's really the only time it was really obvious. Here it's just everybody's falling down.
Four minutes left to play in the first half. Campbell ready to throw it in. Sends it back to the keeper. He's trying to get that goal back before halftime. Good ball.
Here the UNC fans not happy with that call, but it was the right call. Billy Ashley trying to catch up with Coivisto and forced her to lose the ball.
This North Carolina fans probably feeling like a lot of things going against him tonight. That goes high. The shot was taken by number 47, Alex Kimball. Sophomore from Chapel Hill. Here it is again.
Well, she won the ball closer to midfield. Nicely done, but the shots from North Carolina right now are just sailing over. They're sailing wide. They're not really challenging Miller and goal. They need to keep them just a little lower, especially like we've been talking about with this field and being so slick. If you keep it lower on the ground, get a little bounce in there, Miller could give up a rebound, and if you're following up, maybe get an easy goal.
Under 2 minutes to play here in the opening half. We're hoping to talk to Virginia head coach Steve Swanson at halftime. The Cavaliers beating Clemson earlier today, 5-0, all 5 goals in the second half.
It's still been an even half. There was a stretch there where Florida State really dominated in possession. They were keeping it in their attacking half, really pressing on North Carolina. But after that goal, North Carolina seemed to have settled in, and now they've had a little bit more possession in their attacking half and had more opportunities.
It'll be interesting to see what the second half looks like.
Dangerous giveaway there from Katie Bowen.
Pickett gonna run over and get this. Sends it back to the middle.
10, 9.
Final 10 seconds to the half.
6, 5.
And we're gonna end this opening half with Florida State leading North Carolina 1-0. We have completed 45 minutes of play. And Florida State behind the goal from Williams leads at 1-0.
Fans, please stay tuned for our
Florida State beating North Carolina earlier this year by the same score.
That presentation will take place on the field in just a few minutes.
And fans here excited to honor those national team members that are here. Going to be, as you said, football game tomorrow?
It's a football game, yeah. Even in all the rain.
Tar Heels and Seminoles heading off the field now at halftime, and another 45 minutes will be played. But joining us now, Virginia head coach Steve Swanson. First of all, excuse me, Florida State head coach. Excuse me, Coach Mark Krikorian. Coach, just talk to us a little bit about that first half. You got that goal. I know that's got to make you feel good.
Yeah, sure. I thought there were certainly parts in the first half, particularly in the first 30 minutes, where I thought were pretty good. And then as the half went on, Carolina got a little bit more of the game, got a little more dangerous, started connecting some passes, and we didn't deal with it well enough.
Well, any kind of changes, because it seemed like when North Carolina started getting more control of the balls, but the substitutions started happening, you think you would do as many changes in the second half?
Do I think we'll do as many changes? I'm not sure. I mean, we'll wait and see how it goes, but I don't think it was our substitutions that changed the game. I think their substitutions came in and they brought some new energy to the game, and they did quite well.
All right, Coach. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Florida State leads it at halftime, 1-0 over North Carolina, the winner to meet Virginia on Sunday. So back here in Cary, Florida State disappointing these little Tar Heel fans right now. Seminoles leading 1-0, but I know they're hopeful Carolina will get back into it in the second half. One team that doesn't have to worry about it anymore is the University of Virginia. We're honored to be joined by head coach Steve Swanson. First of all, Coach, congratulations on that win to start the day. What a second half that was for you guys.
Yeah, we played a lot better in the second half, but Clemson's a good team. They're very hard to break down. They do a good job defending collectively, and we had our problems in the first half, but our players did what they needed to do in the second half to create chances, and once we got chances, we finished.
Well, what do you think was the biggest difference?
Well, you know, we were on top of each other in the first half, so when we attacked, our front line and our midfield line was just one line across their back line, and there really wasn't, you know, we needed to spread them out a little bit more, so we dropped two of our midfielders back a little bit, and hopefully we created a little more space in between the lines, and I think that was a difference. Alexis Schaffer did a great job, and I think Betsy and Kylie both, Betsy Brand and Kylie Torres both did just a good job of spreading them out a little bit, and it gave us a little more room to work.
Well, we're going to take a look at the highlights from that opening game. It was the semifinal #1 earlier tonight, Virginia and Clemson.
We've been talking a lot about slipping on the field. Was it slick out there?
It was a little slick out there. I was just looking at the goal we almost gave up in the first half. I hadn't seen it on the other side.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had a lot of different goal scorers today. I mean, McNabb getting 2 and Latsko.
Those two for sure. I think Kristen McNabb is such a big part of our team, you know, and Schaff and V and Stearns. I mean, you guys don't get enough credit for the season we've had, but they've been integral parts. And I think Kristen getting those two goals, set play wise, really opened the door for us.
I guess it was kind of a perfect scenario for you toward the end of the game to give some players some rest for Sunday.
Yes, I mean, I think this is one challenge of this tournament is that there's not a big turnaround. It's just you're going to have some depth to win it. And fortunately for us, we do have some depth, and we could get some players in tonight because the game was in hand towards the end.
Well, looking forward into the NCAA tournament, I said on air that I think y'all are going to win it all. I mean, what do you think it's going to take to win that national championship?
Well, I think we have to be consistent. I think, you know, again, tonight was an interesting night in that we didn't have a great first half. We came back and had a good second half. I think we've got to be more consistent over the long haul against, you know, teams like Clemson, teams like any of these teams here tonight. So I think that's a big thing. And we've got some experience, which helps us, good leadership. And I think our first years, we've had a big group, and a lot of younger players have come up and I think improved during the year. So hopefully we're peaking at the right time, but you never know. I mean, in our sport, you have to have a little luck, and hopefully we'll get that at the right time too.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for stopping by. Appreciate it. We'll let you get back to the team, and good luck on Sunday.
Thank you.
Virginia. Packed house here tonight at the WakeMed Soccer Park. Of course, easy for the Tar Heel fans to get over here since we're on the back door of Chapel Hill. And some of the North Carolina national team members being honored just moments ago at halftime.
Well, mainstays of the national team with Lori Kolubny and Heather O'Reilly. New ones onto the scene are Whitney Ingen and Ashlyn Harris. Ashlyn's the one in the hat, backup goalkeeper to Hope Solo, and Heather O'Reilly has won 3 Olympic gold medals. Lori Kolubny has won 1, and now they get a world championship under their belt. So amazing what those 4 and all those women of the U.S. did in the World Cup this summer, and how they've really helped women's sports in general.
So they'll be honored at halftime of the football game tomorrow. See if the Tar Heels can go back in the second half, because Florida State leads 1-0 here at halftime. Well, back here at the WakeMed Soccer Park in Cary, North Carolina, the Tar Heels and Florida State Seminoles at halftime. We're a little under 4 minutes away from the start of the second half, and Kat, first half went the Seminoles' way, but it was a little bit controversial opening half as well, because it looked like North Carolina had a goal taken away from them.
Well, Coach Mark Krikorian's right. For the first 30 minutes, it was really all about Florida State, and then once Florida State scored the goal, North Carolina woke up, and they really started to play a lot better in that first half. They started to combine better and really just play better in their attacking half, and they got it out of their defensive third.
Let's take a look at the opening half highlights and show you what we're talking about.
Well, this was at the beginning where Scarpa had a nice look on goal and just completely sails it wide. Miller had taken off a good angle, but Scarpa just missed it. And here's the goal. Shayna Williams with a brilliant header from Emma Coivisto, and this is the controversial call. They called North Carolina offside, and we have looked at it from different angles, and At first, I thought maybe the person throwing the ball in could have been offside, but from a different angle, she is onside. Summer Green is onside the whole time. The ball is in the air, and even when she finished it. So I have no idea what the assistant referee was thinking when he made that call.
So second half, Kat, what do you think the Tar Heels have to do differently as we see the stats?
Oh, I don't think either team really has to do much differently. I think that North Carolina just needs to play the way they did at the end of the half, and Florida State needs to come out in the first half the same way, or in the second half the same way they did the first half. And you can see it's pretty even, except Florida State has been better with getting the shots on target and really challenging Heberlin a little bit more.
So Carolina will be trying to come back when we...
Well, you know, we can't keep heading the ball out of bounds or kicking it out of bounds within range of that freaking mortar from the sideline. That kid, you know, throws the ball inside the 6, so we've got to take care of that a bit. Also, we got to take care of the ball a little. But also, we have to shoot the ball on frame. I mean, we had some opportunities, and we just couldn't hit the frame. So, yeah, keep it on the field, to hit the frame. The counterattacking is looking pretty dangerous, and I think those things will all benefit us.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah, get the ball on frame. The Tar Heels statistically had no shots on goal in that opening half.
He's always a good interview with a good statement, talking about the throw-in.
Yeah, what'd you like about that?
I can just imagine how he actually put it in the locker room.
Yeah, I was sorry you didn't get to talk to him then.
I got to talk to him yesterday. So it's good.
Physical play, midfield, no foul called. Tar Heels trailing by 1 to Florida State. Williams coming up lame in midfield. She's limping right now. Scarpa has it taken away from her.
What's interesting, Hannah Gardner is getting the start in the second half at left back. Maya Worth started the first half at left back.
Carolina looking to strike early here. Miller comes down with it. There's Williams, still limping a little bit. She gets hit in the leg right as she cuts across the field there. Now she's making a play on the ball. Just goes over the goal. Shot taken by Coivisto.
Well, now Lindsay Harris is back there. Heberlin's out. And this is a normal move for North Carolina to change the goalkeepers at halftime. Typically, it's whoever wins out goalkeeper in this ACC tournament will start for the NCAA tournament. Both have done a nice job this season for North Carolina.
What's the advantage of doing that, Kat, having 2 keepers?
It's always good to have a lot of depth. That's about the only advantage. As a defender, I personally like to have the same voice back there the whole 90 minutes. But it's good to get experience for both goalkeepers so that if they are put into any type of game, they're ready.
Tar Heels looking for a scoring opportunity here. Foul inside the box.
He needs to be reaching into his pocket because that's a yellow card.
Haven't seen the yellow yet.
Castleberry cuts in and Coivisto just flattens her right on the top of the box. Didn't have any chance of getting the ball on that one.
So this kick will be taken just outside. Tar Heels setting up here, trying to tie the game. Newfield, number 88. Nails it. That was a rocket.
You are right. That was an absolute rocket. It ricocheted, looked like off of someone in the wall, which didn't allow for Miller to make that save. Right at the end, you can see, looks like Schmid, might have been Schmid trying to get to that ball, and it just clips her cleat. What a rocket from Alexa Newfield.
That's her 10th goal of the season. She leads the Tar Heels in that category. And so we're tied at 1. We haven't completed 5 minutes of play here in the second half. Tar Heels tie the score. Now you can hear these North Carolina fans getting involved. Scarpa trying to get loose. And another foul called on Florida State.
You're starting to get a sense that this game is becoming much more physical, a little more fast-paced in the second half. Both these teams really want to win this game and get into that final on Sunday.
Which team would prefer a faster pace? Either?
North Carolina would probably prefer it, but FSU won't shy away from it. They like to keep the ball so much that, you know, it tends to be a little bit slower. North Carolina's used to that high pressure, but this is a well-prepared Florida State team.
Katie Bowen with the kick. Miller runs into the pack and grabs it. Cassie Miller, sophomore from Cave Creek, Arizona. Talked about her in the open of the show. Goal by Newfield was deflected.
Florida State has to be back, happy to see Kirsten Crowley back in the center back. She was the one that got called for the controversial handball. It actually hit off her hip. She got an automatic red, straight red, put her out for that game and the next game, which they tied to Boston College. So she is a mainstay back there. She is a good distributor and good in the air. You can just tell that this back line just feels much more comfortable with all their players back.
It's Newfield. Kat, we're going to have another special guest stopping by, aren't we?
Wow, I think so. Very special guest. A fellow Tar Heel. Played with her for a little bit.
Heather Riley.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Glad you are here. What do you think of the first half of the second half so far?
Well, I'm excited. The Heels got a goal. But, yeah, it's quality soccer. I think that the players are taking really crafty touches. I'm really impressed with a lot of the first touches out there, and it's an exciting game.
Do you miss playing out on the ACC tournament?
I do. I mean, look at this pitch. It's absolutely beautiful. What an environment to play in. The ACC tournament was always a lot of fun. You know, the conference is so strong. It's a battle every single game. So it's not an easy tournament to win, that's for sure, but I think that it gears up the teams for the NCAA tournament coming up.
So you were signing autographs before the game. You're being honored. Talk to us a little bit about what this summer meant to you and how it's, you know, changed your life and changed the lives of so many women out there.
Well, listen, what we were able to do this summer was incredible. I hope that we inspired a lot of people, a lot of young players. We're obviously excited to come home with the gold, and you know, I was a 13-year-old watching the 1999 World Cup, and I know that I know how much that inspired me and drove me, and hopefully we were able to have that impact on the young players today.
Heather, now that the summer's over, what's your life like these days?
Well, we do have a victory tour with the U.S. team. I live here in Chapel Hill, so in between soccer adventures, I'm back here in Chapel Hill. But you know, it's one eye on what we did at the World Cup, but one eye on the future, which is the Rio Olympics coming up right around the corner. So it's back to work, it's back to the grind, and continuing to try to achieve great things.
So I have to ask, what was it like at the C of A's on Wednesday presenting an award? And I saw a picture of Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel. That must have been pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. You know, how much of an impact the World Cup win had across different industries. It's not just athletics. So it was fun being there at the CMAs. And I think even country artists appreciate sort of what it takes to do something fantastic. And so it was a lot of fun to meet all those stars and to be there and to celebrate working hard for something.
Yeah. Were you nervous? Because I would have been nervous, I know.
I was a little bit nervous. We were very nervous to knock on Justin Timberlake's dressing room, I'll tell you that much. But him and Jessica Biel were
was he
fantastic.
expecting
Jessica
you?
Biel actually played soccer growing up, and no, he was not expecting us, but I think that they were pleasantly surprised that we came to say hello. And yeah, they were very nice, and yeah, everybody that we met was very down to earth and very excited about what we did at the World Cup.
CMA's, by the way, Country Music Awards, for those of you that aren't sure what we're talking about.
Well, probably confused since we're talking about Justin Timberlake
Yeah.
at the Country Music Awards, but he did an excellent job with Chris Stapleton that night.
Yeah, it was amazing. I think that, you know, there's just so many talented people in that room. And
Goal is open. Williams takes the shot and misses. She scored earlier for Florida State, but the Seminoles can't score again off the Williams foot.
Wow, this is an excellent opportunity for Florida State. Harris comes off her line without hesitation. It was smart, but she wasn't able to collect the ball. And then Williams, she saw the UNC defenders on the line and decides to chip it when she should have just tried to pound it into the back of the net or place it where a North Carolina player couldn't have got it. So big missed opportunity there for Florida State.
So we remain tied at 1. It's Williams again.
How do you think this half is going to end? What's the score? Unbiased. I asked Morgan Bryan the same thing on the end of the last one.
well, I think that we as in UNC have turned the tide a little bit here in the second half. Obviously, we just escaped a near goal, but I think Jess Scarpa has worked hard and almost had one in the first half. I'd like to see her bury one here in the second half. But it really is good end-to-end soccer. I'm very impressed with the level of both sides.
Does it feel a little strange watching the Carolina Blue out there, both of you, having, you know, worn it, and now you have to watch as a fan?
It is. There's a lot of pride involved when you see the Carolina Blue. You always want the best for the team and for the coaching staff. I was already screaming down there. Everybody's looking at me and arguing with the ref and screaming on the girls. So I'm definitely very passionate for my side, that's for sure.
And you practice with them too, every time you can, right?
Yeah, a couple times throughout the season we're allowed to sort of jump in with the team. So it's always fun to be back at Finley Fields there in Chapel Hill, and you know, be around the coaches that have inspired me so much through the years.
It's foul on Kingma. Heather, one more question. When you're in Chapel Hill, how do you train there? What's your training facility like?
Well, sometimes, you know, lucky enough to train right there at Finley Fields, which is where the team trains.
Florida State, another miss, slight miss.
But there's a lot of fabulous club fields through the area. Castle Club is a club, obviously, that is very strong, and I'm hoping to jump in with some boys teams over the next couple of weeks to stay sharp while I'm home here in North Carolina.
All right, well, thanks for stopping by and joining us.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you.
Good to see you guys.
Have fun getting honored tomorrow at the UNC Duke football game.
Thanks. I will. Thank you.
Corner kick for Florida State now as the Seminoles getting close to scoring on the Tar Heels here in the last few minutes. And there's another opportunity.
Florida State shotgun number 3, Megan Connolly.
I think Florida State wants Heather Riley to continue to be up here. They've had some amazing opportunities that have just missed on that last one. Natalia Cuica, a nice combination play, got open, and Lindsay Harris from North Carolina made a huge save to keep that ball out of the back of the net.
Still tied at 1, 32 minutes left in regulation. A very physical half. Again, a foul called here against North Carolina.
Foul. Carolina.
On Newfield. You can really feel the energy picking up between both teams. Both seem like they're playing with more sense of purpose right now.
Yeah, the speed of play, it's just been up and down both sides of the field. No one has really sustained an attack for a long period of time, like in the first half, where Florida State was in their attacking half for a long period, and North Carolina towards the end of the second half was doing the same thing. Now it's just up and back and forth, and both teams getting a look at the goal and getting opportunities, and it's been a fun second half.
Kingman leaves it out on the left side. That's not going to work for the Tar Heels. It'll be a Florida State throw-in. Evenly matched game here in the second semifinal. The winner will face Virginia, who dominated the second half against Clemson earlier, scoring 5 second-half goals. Foul on Florida State.
Florida State.
Virginia will play the winner at noon on Sunday for the ACC title.
Well, this is exactly what Steve Swanson, the coach of Virginia, wanted to see, a tough battle where the legs are getting stretched, they're getting tired, because he was able to rest some players within the game.
Newfield sends it. She scored earlier. Green tried to take a shot there.
Number 6, Summer Green.
Newfield. Just knocked over the goal by Miller.
Well, Alexa Newfield is not afraid to shoot, and she's so good at just looking up for just a half second, seeing where the goalkeeper is, and just looking to find that one little space that she can put the ball in. Cassie Miller does a nice job just tipping it over the bar. But Newfield has been full of energy tonight. She's been up and down this left flank, really creating a lot of opportunities for North Carolina.
North Carolina, as you said, bringing in a line change, bringing in several players here on this substitution as Kingman goes back for the corner kick. Tar Heels just couldn't get a clean look there.
Carolina shot by number 47, Alex Kimball.
Kimball takes a shot.
Carolina, number 7, Annie Kingman.
That's a good block from Megan Campbell there from Florida State. But there's so many bodies in that small area on that back post, and North Carolina has been hitting it back there.
Kingman back to take another corner, opposite side of the field. Oh, Williams saves it. So we remain tied at 1. As fast as they're playing right now, Kat, I'm going to be surprised if we finish tied at 1. I think somebody's going to score here.
Yeah, this is the save off the line from Shayna Williams. That's why you have post players there. I'm a bit surprised that she's a post player, considering how tall she is, and you typically put your smaller players on the post, but I think Coach Krikorian's happy she was there. Difference too for North Carolina from the first part of that first half till now. They're putting more pressure on the back four of Florida State, and Florida State's just not able to build it up as quickly as they did at the beginning.
Kimball sends it. Tar Heels still looking for a good shot here. Chasing that ball out of bounds is Gardner. Like what you're seeing the second half?
Yeah, this has been a fun half so far.
I like this
It's
half.
not even halfway over yet, so it's just everybody is pressing and playing the ball quickly. No one's really taking that extra touch yet and slowing the game down. And you don't need to slow the game down right now. Just the way that each team is playing. Just keep the ball on the ground and try and find those wide areas, because right now that's where it's wide open. The pockets in between each outside back from each team. There's just a lot of space for players to work with.
Connolly. Hahn runs it down for Florida State. Broken up. Furstenberg. Furstenberg with it at her feet, looking for the shot. Passes instead. And that ball gets away from Bruder. Williams looking for her second goal and finds it. Goal number 2.
Well, completely against the run-up play for the most part for Florida State. They were struggling to get the ball out of their defensive area. But Joanna Boyles of North Carolina decided to pass to Katie Bowen, which made her leave her spot, and so much space for Shayna Williams. You can't do that with a player of her caliber. She is so fast and so good at finishing with that much time and that much space. She is just a clinical finisher in those situations, and she again made North Carolina pay for being out of position.
2 goals tonight for Williams. Her 4th and 5th goals of the season.
Katie Bowen does her best to try and catch, but you see those long legs of Shayna Williams just completely outraces Katie Bowen and just crunches that ball past Lindsey Harris.
5'9" senior from Hampton, Georgia. There's some Seminole fans here in Cary. Not only Tar Heel fans here. Just over 24 minutes left in regulation. It's 2-1 Florida State. It's Connolly looking for the shot, takes it. Harris gets a hand on it and knocks it away.
Florida State shot by number 3, Megan Connolly.
You see Katie Bowen screaming at her defenders, telling them to get back and get ready, because Connolly, what an excellent pass from Thorvaldsdottir, and looks like Nielsen not only slipped, but completely got beat by Connolly, and Lindsay Harris has come up with some big-time saves so far in the second half.
Corner kick, Florida State.
Corner kick, Florida State. See, Florida State's had 10 shots on goal, and the 2 for North Carolina have been in this half.
That's what Anson Dorn's talking about. They need to shoot the ball on frame, and they finally did, and they got a goal out of it. So amazing what happens when you listen to your coach. I know shooting the ball in frame is an easy coachable moment, but still, it's just a little bit more focus when you're close to goal.
Corner kick, Florida State. Number 3, Megan Connolly.
Another corner for Florida State. Harris catches that. Tar Heels looking to tie. Nielsen. Bruder can't run it down. Florida State lets that go out of bounds. Worth coming back in the game. Ashley will leave.
Maya Worth replacing number 16, Julia Ashley.
Worth, one of the starters for the Tar Heels, getting a breather, coming back in for the final 21 and change. Desperately trying to get a shot here. Florida State's done a good job of denying him. Worth slips. And a foul called.
Either Florida State or North Carolina, they just need to settle down a little bit. Yes, they can keep going quickly, but the ball has just been bouncing a lot. Players are trying to get their full body behind the ball because of how much it skips. But if you keep the ball on the ground, then you don't have to worry about how the ball is bouncing.
Foul against the Tar Heels. Shot goes over. Pickett takes it.
Well, it's better from Florida State. They were a little more patient in that attacking area, finding the open people, and Pickett does a nice job of just a little touch. She just sails it over, hits it with the inside of her foot rather than striking it with her laces.
Under 20 minutes to play now in regulation.
North Carolina entering is number 12.
Connolly on the move
Jessie
again.
Starkov replacing number 2, Emily Bruder. Number 6, Summer Green
Jensen.
replacing number 54, Sarah Ashley Furstenberg. Number 21, Cameron Castleberry replacing number 18, Megan Buckingham.
And again, more bodies falling on the pitch. Yellow card against Jensen.
Yellow card, Florida State. Number 5, Aline Jensen.
Well, Castleberry steps in front of Jensen, and Jensen just clips Castleberry from behind. Much deserved yellow card on that one.
Tar Heels looking for that scoring opportunity. Good defense by the Seminoles.
Carolina shot taken by number 10, Joanna Boyd.
Wow, what a difficult turn there from Scarpa. There's just too many Seminoles in the box.
Nothing really there for Hannah Gardner. So we have Carolina corner kick. Newfield going back to take it. Kingman coming off.
Number 12, Casey Tillman replacing number 5, Elaine Jensen.
Tillman replacing Jensen for Florida State. Newfield sends it. Newfield took the kick. But again, that Florida State defense just so solid. Nothing getting through there. See any vulnerability in Florida State right now that Carolina could expose?
Right now, the space that is available is right in front of their outside backs. Kelsey Tillman isn't really getting back as quickly as she typically does. Cuevisto's getting back, but still a little bit slow. So if North Carolina can find those spaces quickly, that's what they can combine a little bit in those flank areas. It's all about, for Florida State, really compacting that space a little more from their outside back and their wingers. But that's just where fatigue starts setting in. When a game is in back and forth like this, your outside backs have been going forward, and they've been having to get back and defend. So it's just a little bit of tired legs. But it's the same for North Carolina. Florida State's just been exploiting it better.
Another Florida State shot taken, but this one not even close to going in.
Florida State shot by number 10,
was taken by
Thorvaldstadter.
Thorvaldstadter from Iceland. One of 2 players from Iceland on the Florida State roster. They have 2 players from Iceland, 2 from Finland. Chance here for Florida State. Quick shot taken.
Florida
And
State
good
shot by
save
number 3, Megan Connolly.
by Harris. Connolly took the shot.
Connolly has done a really good job at picking up those passes or the giveaways from North Carolina and taking it at the back line. The problem is her execution at the very end, whether it's the shot or the final pass. She's been a little off for her, but you can see why she was midfielder of the year and freshman of the year in the ACC.
Substitution for Carolina.
Go back and see that
7, Annie Kingman,
shot by Connolly. Oh, there she is.
Zielinski.
Midfielder and freshman of the year. Think players are getting better, younger now?
Yeah, I think the biggest reason for that, too, is the youth national teams and how they're developing players so quick, and they're getting World Cup experience at such a young age. There's a U17 World Cup, there's a U20 World Cup. And then they come to college and they bring that experience, and you can just tell that they don't act as young as we used to. Because I never had a U20 World Cup.
Carolina shot by number 10, Joanna Boyles.
Interesting, the ref stopped the clock.
Yeah.
They've been doing this the whole game, so it's not necessarily time wasting. It's something that Florida State does.
What do you mean by that?
Well, the reason why he stopped the clock was he thought they were time wasting. But Florida State has been doing it the whole game because they want to utilize her throw-in because of how long it is. It's almost like a good clearance for Florida State in that back area. And so it shouldn't be a stoppage and play because he didn't stop it in the first half either. I can see him doing it maybe in the last 5 minutes, but not with over 13 minutes to go.
Well, you just think back of that goal that North Carolina had taken away. It would be 2-2 right now.
We have to think soon. North Carolina's used to playing in a 3-4-3. We have to think that they would start thinking about that in the next couple minutes or so. They've done such a good job in this 4-2-3-1 with their outside backs getting forward so well. I would think, Anson has to be pleased, but at the same time, you have to start taking some risks, getting some more players forward, get them higher up the field and in the attack.
North Carolina throw in by Gardner. Gardner's going to throw it in one more time. Clock continues to run. Approaching 12 minutes left in regulation. Tar Heels looking to tie. That shot taken by Summer Green.
Well, she meant to cross that. It's a longer throw and that bounced right to Summer Green's way, and you can tell just by where her hips were turned, she was trying to cross that to some oncoming North Carolina players, but it just hit the wrong side of her foot.
Tar Heels have a chance here. Denied again by Florida State. Castleberry had a good look. Throw in for North Carolina. No, for Florida State, excuse me.
This is just Castleberry doing a nice job of finding space. I would have liked to see maybe a shot, even though that was a difficult angle. Florida State had that covered really well. They were marking in the box nicely. It was a tough pass.
Scarpa trying to weave her way through the Florida State defense. Foul on Florida State as Worth hits the pitch.
Florida State.
This is a good run from Maya Worth. Cuevisto trying to keep up with the pace, unable to, and Pickett comes over and just misses the ball and gets most of Worth, and that's why Worth was on the ground.
Under 10 minutes to play in regulation. Tar Heels trailing by 1. And the grab by Miller in traffic.
Cassie Miller is just a consistent leader, strong performer for this Florida State team. She just makes that look so easy. She's so calm. There's so many bodies around her, and she comes out with the ball so cleanly, and that's what you want from a back line that has been dealing with all these attacking opportunities from North Carolina. You want your goalkeeper just to handle the ball with ease and make you not have to worry at all about what's behind you.
This was dangerous here.
Yeah, Joanna Boyle's making a good run. It just got a little too far, and there's Miller again, coming off her line. And that's huge. She doesn't hesitate in making that decision.
Substitution for Carolina entering is number 16, Julia Ashley. Replacing
Ashley
number
is
71, Hannah Gardner.
Coming on for Gardner in the Tar Heel lineup. Carolina has a throw in here.
Ashley just gives a little more speed down that flank. But Hannah Gardner did a nice job coming in. Didn't start the game, it started the second half.
Battling for the Tar Heels. This little shove there, no foul called. She was going at it pretty hard with Tillman. Newfield bends it, and Miller runs over and grabs it. Nice shot by Newfield, and a good save.
That had the right bend, and it was going towards that far post. But Miller just gets on it. Had it been a little higher, that would have been a tough save. But good footwork from Miller to get there and save it cleanly.
Approaching the final 7 minutes of regulation for the Tar Heels to try to tie the score.
Substitution for Florida State entering is number
Williams
19,
is coming back
Shayna
on
Williams,
as she scored
replacing number 10,
both
Brooklyn
Florida State goals
Oklahoma.
tonight. So she's gotten a breather. Well, that ref not very happy with something over there.
Evidently there's some clock issues.
Clock right now is at 6:35. Moving it to 6:40. Scarpa. Scarpa. Still with the ball. Crosses back. Nothing there for the Tar Heels.
I mean, this has just been a great second half. Both teams have really gone after it. Florida State, you can tell, has dropped back a little bit. They want to conserve this lead, not allow much space behind the back line and in between the back line and the midfield. But it gets tiring when you've been defending for a long time, and fatigue is starting to show from both teams.
5:45 left in regulation now as Carolina desperately tries to tie this score. Florida State doing a good job of denying the Tar Heels. Here's Williams. another North Carolina throw in. Newfield's going to take it. Was it right to Hahn? Offside.
The referee should give her a yellow. It's not a talking to in that situation.
Offside, Florida State.
And Williams didn't like that offside call. Clock stopping again. Foul called on Florida State, a late call as he gets players' attention.
This is Summer Green cutting right in front of Florida State. It looks like Hahn stepped on her foot, which forced her to trip, but I think the referee was going to say play on, but he realized that when Scarpa got the ball, there was 3 FSU defenders right around her, so that's why he called it a little late.
Oh. Collision. She got hit in the head.
Yeah, Maya Worth came in way too late on that one.
And that was Tillman, looks like, who's down.
You can see, I mean, Maya Worth comes in late. Tillman can't even see her. And just doesn't even go for the ball on that one.
Tillman unfortunately sitting up now and wanted to get up on her own power. Trainer wouldn't let her. Goes through the
on these head collisions,
concussion tests here.
You need to make sure that everything is safe.
Tillman was trying to get right back up. The competitor she is. The trainer had her sit back down. See, she's bleeding there on the left side of her head. It's quite a collision.
There's blood all over the front of her shirt too. I mean, the referee needs to give it at least a yellow card for that one on Maya Worth.
So Tillman being hepped off the field. Worth shaken up a little bit as well. Coach Krikorian upset about that.
Well, he should be upset about it. I mean, that's a terrible foul.
Number 71, Hannah Gardner, replacing number 5, Maya Worth.
There's a yellow card issued on a Florida State assistant coach. You just saw Krikorian asking the official about that. So unfortunate incident. 3:30 though left to play in regulation. North Carolina still trailing 2-1. Newfield. Scarpa trying to chase it. Miller comes off her line and grabs it.
Well, it's been a great battle this whole game between Scarpa and Campbell. Scarpa's just trying every ounce of her to get around Campbell. Campbell does an excellent job of preventing Scarpa to get near that ball. She protected her goalkeeper. Cassie Miller comes off her line to help out Campbell. But good defense there from Florida State.
Tar Heels looking for a clean shot. That's not going to do it. That was Gardner taking it.
Well, she was looking for the early ball. Her hips were turned more to the goal, and that's why I went straight to Miller.
Again, Virginia in the championship Sunday at noon. The winner of this will face the Cavaliers. Tar Heels looking for that shot. This is Castleberry. Sends it back out to Gardner. 1:45 left to play. And Miller came out, left the goal exposed, and the Seminoles very fortunate there.
Well, it's a good cross in, but Cassie Miller that time hesitated with how she was whether she was going to punch it or whether she was going to catch it. And North Carolina almost got a goal on that one. It was a good save from Hahn.
Hahn saved the Seminoles. Corner kick though for the Tar Heels. Newfield.
There you can see Summer Green just flicks it on a little bit, and you can see the little bit of indecisiveness from Miller. Might have been better for her to stay on her line. But Hahn just clears it off her line and saves FSU on that play.
Clock had stopped. Had a couple more players shaken up. Newfield takes it. Drilled wide. That was Katie Bowen. Got her foot on it.
A shot by number 15, Katie Bowen.
Just over a minute to play here in regulation as Florida State trying to hang on and move on to the ACC championship game against Virginia on Sunday.
One minute remaining.
It's interesting to me that North Carolina never really left their four-back system. They've still got a lot of attack from their outside backs. It's just not as much help for Scarpa up front. A lot of times it took a little too long for the attack to develop, especially in the last 5 minutes or so. They got good opportunities. There just weren't a lot of numbers in the attacking area until late.
Under 30 seconds now. North Carolina desperately trying to get that one final shot. Tar Heels on the move. Newfield can't catch up to it. Clock continuing to run, under 10 seconds. Newfield will try the corner quickly. Sends it. Miller grabs it, and that's going to do it. Florida State has held on and defeated North Carolina 2-1 to move to the ACC championship.
What a game, though. I mean, back and forth. That whole second half was just completely nonstop. Both of these teams wanted that so badly. And this is the last 10 seconds. North Carolina tried so hard to get anything on that, but just not hard enough on that header, and Cassie Miller just comes up with it and stays on it.
So there's our championship matchup. It will be the top two seeds advancing to the championship as Florida State squeaking out a 2-1 win over North Carolina will face Virginia looking for the upset on Sunday. Again, that will be at noon on Sunday. What do you think about that matchup, Kat?
Well, you know, they've been two of the top teams in the country. They faced each other recently, and Virginia won 1-0 on a controversial call. So you have to think that Florida State's looking for a little bit of revenge on that one.
So for Kat Whitehill, I'm Sam Gore saying so long from Cary, North Carolina, where Florida State has defeated North Carolina 2-1 to move into the ACC Tournament Championship. To watch this game on replay, go to the WatchESPN.com website or download the Watch ESPN app. This has been a presentation